I want to talk about something that happens to every mixer, every audio engineer, and if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to at some point. Let's get into it.
At McRae Music.
Hi, how are you doing? I am richly blessed. I pray that you are as well. All right. If you've been mixing long enough, you have experienced this, and if not, at some point in your mixing career, you will. You're going to run into a mix that for some reason just isn't translating. It's just not translating. Now, when I say not translating, that could mean a couple things. One, it could mean it's not translating or feeling or sounding the same outside of the studio as it is in the studio, right? You listen to it in the car or on the phone or on some headphones or whatever, and it's just not sounding as good and as crisp and as clean as it's sounding in your studio space. Or it could be it's just not translating to your client, where it sounds great, it sounds amazing to you. You've gone through several revisions, but for some reason there's just a disconnect with you getting it the way the client wants it to be. I know we all want to send out our first mix and have that first mix be approved, and when that happens, that is a great feeling. The heavens open up and angels ascend and descend, right? But unfortunately, that does not always happen. And sometimes it just seems like you just can't get it. And I want to talk to you about some ways that you can handle that situation. All right. The first thing that you want to do when you are it's just not working is you want to stop and take a breath. Just stop, take a breath, and understand it's probably not anything that has to do with your skills as an audio engineer. All right. That's the first thing that comes to mind. You know, when you send out a mix and you get back a bunch of revision notes, and maybe you've gone back and forth a couple of times, or it's not translating in the car or wherever, the first thing that hits you is, oh my goodness, I'm trash. As an audio engineer like this, I'm terrible. I'm the worst mixer to ever mix. That is very most likely not the case. What it probably is, especially if it's an issue with it being satisfactory to your client, is probably not an issue with your skill. There's probably a breakdown in communication. 9 times out of 10, from my experience, that's what's going on. There's a communication breakdown where the artist, the client, is expressing what it is that they want, but they're expressing it in a language or in a way that you're just not receiving it. Because words that we say when it comes to describing music and mixes can mean different things, right? The mix feels thin. Well, what does that actually mean? Oh, the mix needs more clarity. What does that actually mean? Oh, I need more. It needs more bottom, or it's not punchy enough, or it's all those different descriptive terms that we use could mean different things to different people. And so oftentimes the issue is not you knowing how to do what you do. The issue is you being able to translate what it is that the client actually wants. So take a breath. Step back, breathe, don't throw all your gear away, right? You don't stink as an engineer. Take a step back. Let's see if we could communicate a little bit differently with the client, maybe give some examples, have them give you some examples, go back and forth with humility, of course. That's another thing. Get your pride out the way, be humble. It's probably not about you. It's just a breakdown in communication. So take a breath, relax, and we're gonna figure it out. Stay positive. We'll figure it out. All right. The second thing that I would recommend that you do is fight the urge to make random changes. All right. So the mix, and this could be with the client or if the mix isn't translating to you in multiple spaces, right? If you just start doing stuff and you don't know why you're doing it, you're gonna dig yourself further into the hole. All right. And sometimes we get into that mode where it's just, I'm just trying to get it done. And we want to just do that one thing where everything just clicks and comes together. And it's like, oh, this is amazing. And most of the time that's not gonna happen, right? So if you're just randomly doing stuff, randomly adding plugins, randomly changing things, you don't know why you're doing it, you don't have a plan, you don't have a finish line, stop, right? Because you're digging yourself further into the hole. Stop, take a step back, maybe step away from the mix for a little bit and come back with a clear head and a vision and understand what you want to do. Taking notes will help with that as well, right? When you're listening in different spaces, right? Take notes of kind of what's sounding different, and that can kind of help guide you so you don't just go in there and start just doing stuff, all right? The third thing, or another thing that you are going to want to do when the mix is not translating, especially in different spaces, reference, all right? Reference a mix. It could be a mix that you did, it could be a mix that someone else did, but a professional commercial mix that sounds amazing in your studio space. Reference that mix while you are mixing your song, all right? Because that will give you an understanding of what that mix that you know sounds great everywhere sounds like in your space, and then that can kind of give you some indications as to things to change. Now, there are different softwares that you can use for this. The one that I love and use still is called Magic AB. They don't sell it anymore. I don't think it doesn't exist anymore, but there are other ones. Plugin Alliance has one. I'm sure there are others where you can load the plugin on your mix bus and just literally hit AB. A is giving you your mix, B is giving you whatever tracks you have loaded up for referencing. Do that. I'm telling you, that is going to help you. That literally just helped me. I was just in this situation with a client, and I mixed several songs for them, and they actually were like, well, you know, I really like the way these other songs sounded, but this one is just not hitting the same. So, okay. So I go back in and I started referencing the other mixes I did, and immediately I heard the difference and heard what it was that I needed to. It kind of gave me a direction of where I needed to go and the things that I needed to do to make this mix hit the way that I needed it to hit. So reference. Even if you don't have a referencing software, just load up iTunes or something like that and pause your mix and then hit play on iTunes, listen a little bit, go back to your mix and make the tweaks that you need to make. It's going to make your life a lot easier. All right. Now, here's another one that sometimes we overlook, and that is sometimes it's not a mix issue at all. Sometimes it's a production issue. Sometimes sometimes a good mix can reveal bad production choices. All right, whether you are the one who produced it or someone else. Sometimes it's cool when it's in production and then you get it into a mixing environment and you start trying to get everything to play nice the way that it needs to, and that kick just isn't the right sample, or that particular synth patch it sounded real great, but it's just not working, right? It's clashing with other stuff and you gotta just destroy things to get it to work. It just might be a production issue. Sometimes there just might be too much going on in the production. And sometimes you might make the decision to not just dial things back, but remove things completely. Now, of course, if this is not something you produced, you could choose to just do that on your own and see if the client notices. Sometimes they won't even notice that it's gone because it sounds good. But sometimes they might notice and say, hey, what happened to that thing that's going on over here at this point? And then you can kind of go in and figure out what to do to fix that. But don't overlook the fact that it might not be a mix issue. It could be a production issue. And go back, try some different things, and see if it works better for you. Which brings me to my last point. If things just aren't translating, it's just not working, don't be afraid to go back to the drawing board. Sometimes it's better to just start back from ground zero, right? Always start off with a rough mix, and if you watch my mix series that I did where I mixed the song from beginning to end, we started off by building a rough mix. You have that hopefully saved as a bookmark in your DAW. Don't be afraid to do save as, create a whole new mix, and then go back to that rough mix right? And just start from scratch. Sometimes it's better to do that. Sometimes you can just get off track, right? Especially if you just get into a mode where you start just doing random stuff, random plugins, random things for random reasons, right? Sometimes it's better to just stop everything and just go back to square one and just start from scratch with fresh ears and fresh eyes and a fresh vision and understanding. And sometimes that can be a lot less frustrating than trying to undo a bunch of stuff that you did that you probably shouldn't have done in the first place, all right? So I hope that those things help you. Again, the big thing is take a breath, man. Sis, take a breath. It's not you. You don't stink as an engineer. You probably are really competent and you actually know what you're doing. It's probably not a skill issue. It's probably a communication issue, a translation issue, an understanding issue, a referencing issue, a production issue, right? It's other stuff that's going on. So take a breath. Don't sell your equipment unless you want to sell it to me or give it to me for free. Nah, don't do that. Don't throw your stuff out. It's going to be all right. All right, so I hope that this helped you. Please take a moment and like this video and feel free to subscribe to this channel. And we'll be back again for some more audio engineering stuff. And if you haven't been checking out Production Tuesdays, go back and look at the stuff that we've done over the past couple of Tuesdays. We'll have a new video for you coming out this coming Tuesday, doing some music production stuff for you. All right, peace.